All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Real Money Coach Show here at 8:10 p.m. Here on Tuesday Eastern Time Zone. And y'all, we were not on CP time, we were on TD time. What is TD time? Technical difficulties, right? For some reason, we had a few technical difficulties, but we are here and we are glad that you're watching. I see a few folks are still hanging out, decided to hang out. Let us know where you're watching from. What part of the country, the city, the state are you watching the Real Money Coach Show from tonight? Put it in the chat so that we know that you can hear us and that we got these technical things taken care of, ironed out, so that we can have a great show tonight. We're looking forward to our guests tonight. We're going to go take a trip back into Michelle and I's past, right? We're going to take a trip back into our past. It's like a time warp, right? We're going to go all the way back to those years that we first met. Michelle and myself, my wife Elisa, and our guest tonight, Pastor Lenzy Bell, and all that great stuff. So I haven't had anyone check in yet. I need one person to check in with the chat. Let us know that you can hear and see us. I see that you are there. I got an indicator you're there, but we haven't gotten confirmation from anyone. So while we're waiting for that, I just want to make a couple announcements. Number one, on Monday, I will be on a radio show with Martha Rice out of San Antonio, Texas. We're going to be on the San Antonio radio station for an interview Monday at 10 a.m., Monday, March 18th. You see the flyer there. As you know, Martha was on our show a few months ago and did a wonderful job. So I'm looking forward to sharing with her audience here on Monday. So I'm excited about that. The other thing I wanted to just remind you all of, I wanted to remind you of the Power Networking Experience and Expo. The Power Networking Experience and Expo will be here in the Queen City, Charlotte, on July 10th, from July 10th through the 13th. You can get your tickets now. They're at a discount. $880 is the discounted price. Normally it's $1,400. The $880 for the registration gets you a ticket as an adult and a young person, ages 17 to 25, right? So that's like 50% off almost. But here's the kicker. If you use the discount code TRMC, all caps 2024, you will get 32% off of that price. So that will make it less than $600 for the conference. And you also get to bring a young person with you, age 17 to 25. Listen, we need to get our sales running. We need you guys to go ahead and register, get your ticket. It is going to be packed with some great networking. You'll meet Dr. George Fraser. You'll meet Michael E. Roberts. You will meet Randall Pickett, who was a winner of one of the seasons of The Apprentice. He won The Apprentice. Remarkable guy. You will meet. Perhaps you may even get a chance to meet Robert Smith. You guys know Robert Smith, worth $8 billion, gave all that money to the Morehouse grads. It's a possibility that he will be here, as well as so many other people networking. The theme that we always talk about with the Power Networking Experience and Expo is to come, earn, learn, earn, and return, right? Earn, learn, and return. So that's what we want to do. We want everyone to come and network. And because we know what they say, your net worth is your net worth. And so just being in the right place at the right time is going to be awfully important. So I want to remind you of those two things. And now I want to bring my co-host on, Mrs. Michelle Mitchell, all the way from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Tony?
I'm doing well. Hey, Michelle, too. I got to let you know. I will be in the Mitten State. I will be in Michigan.
What?
I'm doing a workshop at Church at the City. It's a church in Detroit.
Okay.
So I will be doing that on April 30th. April 30th, the day that we're going to be doing that. And I'm going to make sure that I'm coming a few days early, staying a few days later.
Okay, good.
Got to go to Mesquite and got to go to Kalamazoo.
Of course.
All that kind of stuff. Of course, got to stop in Jackson. And then everybody's coming back to the Queen City because baby girl, Adrian, is going to be graduating.
Graduating.
Masters.
Yes.
And so, Michelle, can you believe that? Can you believe?
I know.
Can you believe?
I know.
Okay, so I'm gonna have 2 children with masters. We got 3 masters. They combined have about as many masters as you do, right?
Right.
But, the reason I was really was thinking about that is because our guest tonight, I met when I was a freshman.
Oh, did you?
And now I have graduates, right? I mean, I'm talking like master's graduates, and where the time has just gone by so fast.
I know. It
has gone by fast, but it's been a good ride. God has been good to us.
Yes,
and all
he
that
has.
Stuff. Anything going on? Anything new going on in your neck of the woods?
No, we have our monthly roundtable tomorrow. So,
awesome.
Yep. Come and join.
Come and join.
Yeah, we're talking about owner's pay. How to pay
owner's
yourself
pay.
As a business owner. Yes.
Well, you know what? That's so important because here's the problem, Michelle, with many business owners, and you probably know this better than I do, is I find that there's usually 2 extremes. Mm-hmm. Either they don't pay themselves at all.
Yep.
And that's a problem.
Yep.
Or they take everything they can out.
They take everything out of the business. Yeah.
Then that's a problem.
Yes.
And so that's a great round topic. If you go to, I know it's posted in our private Facebook group.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the private Facebook group, it's posted there, folks. Charles, thank you for checking in. Thank you for checking in. We know we live in California, y'all. We live in California. So go there, check it out. It is at 1:00 on Wednesday.
Yeah, Eastern.
So make sure you check that out. And y'all, the only reason I won't be there because I'll be at the radio station.
That's right.
Doing radio stuff, right? Now, the other thing I want to kind of tell everyone, and we'll kind of emphasize this next week, but we're ramping up for Financial Literacy Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. There's been a revamping of the realmoneycoach.com, right? The realmoneycoach.com. There's been a revamping. If you want to go check it out, you can go check it out. You can get a financial wellness checkup. And we also have a place where you can find out about your retirement tax bill.
Right.
Huge. Mm-hmm. People not realize how much taxes will be in retirement, through their lifetime.
Right.
And so we have some tools that you can get directly to on the website that will kind of start to expose that to you so that we can talk about what strategies.
Right.
Because the worst part about it, the worst part is not knowing, right?
I know. And some people don't want to know.
And the second worst part is to know and don't do nothing about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we're excited about that. Michelle, we probably ought to take a quick break, show a couple commercials, and then come back with our guest, Alice Martin. Thank you for being here. I think people are probably on, and it's like, they could be on. What's going on, right? But we're here, and we're excited. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Pastor Lenzy Bell from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah.
As well, him and Michelle are actually from the same hometown we call Ben Harbor, Michigan.
That is correct.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.
Imagine a life where financial wellness isn't just a dream, but your reality. Welcome to a journey where increasing, protecting, and dominating your money becomes the new normal. With the Real Money Coach, embark on a path towards legacy wealth. Your financial future is not just a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. It all begins with your free financial wellness checkup. Join us at the Real Money Coach and discover the steps to secure a legacy of wealth for your family. The keys to true financial freedom are within your grasp. Let's build that future, starting now.
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Michelle, there may be people who are listening through the podcasting platforms, which we're
Yes.
on all of them. So why don't you tell them how they can get in contact with Mitchell Consulting?
Sure. You can go to mitchellconsultingservice.com is our website. And you can also join our new Facebook group, Empower, Thrive, and Scale. So just search that on Facebook, and you can join that for free.
There you go.
We'll be sharing some good stuff over there.
There you go.
Empower, Thrive, and Scale.
And then, of course, you all know that it's therealmoneycoach.com. You can contact us there. We have someone watching, listening from Prince George County. They put it in the chat. Let me know your name. Put your name in there because you must be listening through the private Facebook group. So glad that you are here. Michelle, let me do this. Let me introduce our distinguished guest for tonight. He is none other than Pastor Lenzy Bell. And I've known Pastor Bell, Michelle, for as long as I've known you, right? We go back 30 years when he was working for Western Michigan University. He hails from Ben Harbor, Michigan. Shortly, I think before I graduated from Western, he was then pastoring. Pastors a wonderful church, First United Baptist Church in Kalamazoo, Michigan. A great person, a great soul, cares about the community, cares about his people, meaning God's people and all of our people. So without any further ado, I want to bring to the stage Pastor Lenzy Bell.
Good evening.
Hey, we're doing well. How you doing?
Oh man, I finally made the big leagues. I'm on a podcast.
When you make the big league, man? I need to know.
I'm on your show, man. I'm on your show.
Man, we're just blessed to have you here. Thank you for checking in with us, Thomas Bird from PG County. Pastor Bell, like I was saying, man, it goes back to 1986. And I really, honestly, I don't even remember what department you worked in. But I thought it was in Mabee Hall over there. But I can't remember. Not Mabee Hall. What was the hall over there? Was it Sanger Hall? Where they had the African American
Ellsworth.
Yes.
Ellsworth.
Oh, Ellsworth.
Yeah, right there next to the student union. So we go back a long ways. We go back a long way. So, man, so tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about, what you've been doing since then and all that good stuff.
Okay, kind of looks like my picture is frozen. Am I frozen?
I think the picture might be frozen, but we hear you great.
Okay, but you can still hear my voice. Okay, that's good. Sorry you got that freezing there. Yeah, well, I was happy to find the job at Western Michigan University, and April of '90 is when I began, and worked there for about 9.5 years. My job was working in the retention unit, and the retention unit of Division of Minority Affairs. Now it's called Multicultural Affairs, and it may have a different name now. But our job was to make sure that students who entered as freshmen ended up graduating as seniors. even if it was a 5 or 6 year plan. We show students the real way of how to navigate through the system, because not all systems are created equal. And depending on the backgrounds where a lot of our students were coming from, some of them, like myself, weren't adequately prepared to meet the rigors of a college schedule. And we found through our research that it was the failure to adapt to the social skills and social transitions on campus that really caused most of our students to end up failing. A lot of them had the academic ability, but they lacked the social discipline, being away from home for the first time and those types of things, not handling money in the right way, and thinking that parents had an unending money tree in their backyard. And so we gladly, we gladly took those students under our arms and helped them navigate through Western Michigan University. Um, One of the great things our director did, my second director I worked for, was Dr. Martha Warfield. She scheduled a meeting with all the deans of the colleges. And because many of them didn't know what we did, they thought our department was not necessary, that we just dealt with Black cultural stuff. But once we gave them our presentation, we showed them that we were the ones keeping students in the College of Engineering, the College of Business, the College of Communication, Education. So no matter what department they were representing, our job was to make sure those students in those colleges graduated, formulated a critical group that they could study with. And we, taught the older students to mentor the younger students, to steer them away from crazy professors, and also to help pull their coattail, when they were at those exclusive parties that, Tony used to have, that everybody couldn't come to. So,
hey, you don't tell everything you know, Lenzy.
And help. I'm not going to tell. That's all I'm going to say. The moral of the story is that they had us as administrators looking out on their behalf, and then we mentored upperclassmen to be on the ground with them to help them be successful at Western Michigan University.
Well, so much that so much comes up as you talk about that, because I ended up at Western really because of someone just really almost walked me through there, and I had his name. I just lost it. Oh my goodness! But he actually gave me a scholarship, and then I was matched with a mentor, and because of that, it did save a lot of. And I had a relationship with mentor, and I still have a relationship with Lowell Rinker. I still hear from him today. Our relationship is lasted all those years from when I was a freshman. But the other thing for Michelle and I, and my wife, is that we got involved with the National Association of Black Accountants. Yes. And so we had those older students that would tell us, you don't want to take him or for cost accounting. You don't want to take the, and that was an important part of our community, was the fact that we had that organization, which we founded. We were founding members of it, but that was huge for us.
Yes.
And that's what we made sure happened at every college, because there were some colleges that didn't have a student organization. We had NABA, we had NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. We had, and then we helped to formulate minorities in biomedical sciences. So, because we had a couple of students who were pre-med. So, wherever there was a need, we knew how critical it was for older students to help mentor the younger students and help, keep them focused on the big picture. Yes, you can, and so my job mainly was a lot of time management, showing the students that you can have a good time at Western, and I know you're going to do that, but you can have a good time and be a good student if you learn how to manage and budget your time. And I know that's a golden word for you, budgeting.
Right. And you were talking about the debt piece too. And I talk about that in my book, is how back then when we stepped on campus, the first thing you got
was a credit card.
Because they would line up, and
they would.
I got me a Sears and Roebuck credit card and went down and got me a stereo, right? And so you guys
Bronco Bash.
Bronco Bash. Exactly.
Right.
But like, I didn't get a credit card though. I didn't get a credit card at Bronco Bash.
You didn't. You were disciplined. You were disciplined.
I knew my parents wasn't gonna give me no money to pay for it.
Right.
So
So all those things. But as you're talking about mentorship and helping, I think that bleeds over into society as a whole. I mean, I'm thinking about now younger folks that are, even going from high school to college, and then that transition from college to work life. That's another big transition. And I know when we were at Western, I was used to it maybe, but a lot of our African-American Black students weren't used to being in an environment where they were a minority. This was their first experience being in a classroom where they were the only one that looked like them, right? If they were coming from Detroit or maybe in Ben Harbor, or even Muskegon Heights or some of these. Now you're in this different environment and you got to figure out, you're away from home, you got all kinds of freedom, but yet you're still lonely because you're the only one. And that's why too, I've been a big proponent of HBCUs, which I didn't know anything about back then, other than we knew about Howard and Spelman and Morehouse. Those are when I was coming up, I thought them was the only HBCUs that existed, not knowing that there's, over 100 different institutions. So I think they do play an important part in educating and training, Black professionals and et cetera. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So Pastor Bell,
very important. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, the other thing you said, you came in April of '90. We graduated in December.
Yeah.
So I guess most of my you was after I graduated then. Because of being part of the chain link.
That's what I saw you on, because I got there in April, but I think you were gone in December. But I did, because you were in NABA, it was one of the student organizations, because I came the year that the students had previously taken over the administration building.
Wow.
I don't know if you were part of that coup or not. So, I don't know if you were part of that coup, but
no, I wasn't.
So
Michelle, you weren't part of the coup?
I wasn't part of that coup.
Okay, let me tell you something, Pastor Bell. I was one of the ringleaders of that thing.
I can do stuff like that.
But see, this is what it was, because remember, there was a young lady who was accused of cheating, and the professor went into her purse and and it was a number of things. And so as we were meeting, because y'all who may not, I was a little bit radical back then.
He was radical.
Okay, I was a little
carrying around his briefcase.
And so they were like, we're going to take over the administration building. And I was like, you got to know when to take it over. I said, everybody gets paid every other Tuesday. You want to take it over on payday, so don't no professor get paid. And then they'll listen to you.
Wow, that was smart. That was smart.
Yes.
Calculating.
And so then, of course, strategic. So then, of course, everybody met with President Dieter Heineke and so forth. And then, so that was one event that we were involved in. And then the other was when we were protesting up at that club. Matter of fact, I remember Lisa's mom calling because she saw it on the news that we were protesting. It was some nightclub or something. I had never even been in a nightclub, but we were out there picketing because of what had happened as far as. And so, those things, that's part of the college experience, right? So,
yes, social action and social justice issues. I can say that, the students like you and, in the 90s and throughout the 90s, we had a very active social justice movement on campus. And matter of fact, when the president hired me and I had my first meeting, when Danny Sledge hired me and I had my first meeting with President Heineke at the time, he said, "So you're the young man that's going to make sure my administration building doesn't get taken over again." And I said, "No, sir. I'm not the man that's going to do that." I say, "But I am the man that's going to develop a relationship with the students, and you will know before they take it over the next time." I said, I can't promise you that. I can't promise you that. And that's what I did. I built the relationship and rapport with the students, showed them how to utilize the strengths and positions at the university to their advantage. Much like what your last comment you had shared about the importance of the transition from high school to college, there's also a good transition from college to the workforce. Because, I had an eye-opening experience for mine as well. And so I was able to share that, my personal experience with those students who were now interviewing with IBM and Xerox and these pharmaceutical companies and businesses everywhere. And we developed workshops. And sorry, you didn't get a chance to take advantage of that, to learn how to go to receptions and host different functions in a business setting, to know how to recognize power circles at a reception, and to know how to connect, because one of the programs we ran was the STAR program, students taking advantage of resources. And so we taught students how to navigate and find the next resource for the network. And as you talked about, network and net worth, right?
Right.
So those are the types of things that I just had fun doing. And I could do it when I didn't want to do it.
Well, and you mentioned that person, man. Danny Sledge was the person that actually brought me to Western. I actually wanted to go to Howard, and I was heading that way. I mean, we were trying to figure out a way to make it work. And Danny Sledge came and visited me. He recruited me like the football programs were recruiting me. Like, he came to campus. He would call my house and talk to me about coming to Western.
Wow.
Well, he recruited me like you would recruit an athlete. And that's the reason that's a big part of the reason I ended up at Western, was because of Danny Sledge. And here we have tonight, we also have Sheila Gothard, who's checking in.
Yes.
We got a lot of Western ties coming tonight. And so it's a beautiful thing. And that she said, well, and he was really, he was. And then what happened with me is that when I didn't grow up in church, right? I played church in the basement with my sister, right? I was pretending to be a preacher and she was on the organ, but I didn't grow up in church. And there's two things, and then we're gonna move on. There's two things that happened. Is when I met my wife, she said, "You gonna come to church?" I said, "Yeah." And so I went to Mount Zion Baptist church in Kalamazoo. Now, I had relatives. I had a relative that was actually a deacon there. Now, he never could get me to come, but she said, let's go to church. So I went to church, right? And so that was the first time that I made a choice to go to a church as an adult. You know, we had somebody that would come pick us up for Sunday school and all that and all these things, but it was Lisa and going to Mount Zion. And at the time, it was before Pastor Moore was there. Gilliard, right? Or Garth, what was his name?
Reverend Gilliard.
Reverend Gilliard. Yeah, and so he would come to campus, and that's how we ended up deciding to visit Mount Zion. And then, like I said, my cousin Isaiah Charleston was a deacon there, and his son Tommy was a deacon at your church later on in life. And so, you know, and then we met Bianca May and all these type of advisors. But one of the things that we were able to do through NABA is we had our annual Christmas affair where we would get our business suits on and we had it at the president's house.
At the president's house.
Campus, which also led to me marrying my wife, right? Because we were the youngest ones. So when they all got done with the president thing, they went all out to have a drink. But we wasn't old enough to get in the bar. So we hung out together. So here we are 32 years later, right? So, you know, God has just orchestrated this whole thing, and it's been a beautiful thing. And the reason I graduated in December 90 is because Michelle and my wife were best friends, roommates.
Yes.
And so I'm like, they ain't graduating without me. I took 17 credit hours that last semester. So we all graduated together in December 90, and we've been friends, you know, ever since. And so, but good, just a testament to God and the environment that was set at Western, right? And you know, we use the term now PWI. Well, I didn't know Western was a PWI.
Right.
We had our community, and we were there. People like you, Danny Sledge, Sheila, and I can't remember Robert's name, but he was in the computer. He worked at an administration building. Vince Green was over there. So a lot of the professors and professional staff, you know, embraced us. I mean, I don't know what Ben Wilson, he's probably retired by now, I'm sure. But I had Ben Wilson, and he tore me up. Robert Johnson, Robert Johnson. He was at
Welcome to the club. That was a rites of passage to go through Dr. Wilson.
Yeah, Ben Wilson. I've never got a paperback with so much red on it in my life. I wish I would have had Grammarly back then. That'd been all right.
Right.
Grammarly, right. So Pastor, now you've been pastoring now for what, at least 20, 25 years? How many years?
24.
24 years.
Yep, I'll be celebrating 24 years next month.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
I know, and I've spent some time, and actually our relationship goes back because you were one of my first customers when I got out of the accounting side of things and became a, you know, financial advisor and coach. And you were one of those. Your church embraced the idea that we need to do something more for our pastors, because, you know, I had gone to Second Baptist in Jackson. Pastor Williams was there 50 years. When I got there and became a trustee, and I just realized so many pastors of his generation they had to do all they can to get the brick and mortar, right? And to keep the church going, that there wasn't a lot of attention to their needs not the immediate needs, but even needs beyond the pulpit. When those days of preaching
Yes.
were, or let me put this, the days of pastoring, because you never stop preaching, right? You even never stop pastoring. You may not be in that administrative role one day, but there was no plans in your church, and you were progressive enough to listen to this guy that had these new ideas of things that we could put in place that could help a pastor down the road. And so that's been the kind of the I think
Absolutely.
the atmosphere that was there. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing and what's the vision for the ministry.
Well, I'm glad you were able to share with me with our connection with Chain Lake, knowing pastors like A.P. Williams pastoring that long. And the only reason he had to pastor that long is because there was no plan put in place for him to walk away from the pulpit. And that's where some church folk, and I say church folk, not Christians, some church folk are very religious when it comes to them believing that the Lord will take care of the pastor that's been taking care of them. Now they want the Lord to take care of the pastor at the end, but they want him to be at every baptism, at every bedside in the hospital, do every funeral for every cousin and third cousin and friend. But when it comes to making sure that the man of God is taken care of beyond the pulpit or outside of the pulpit, they believe the Lord will make a way somehow. So they want to get spiritual when it comes to the finances for the pastor, but they don't want to be responsible and be spiritual according to the word of God that says, don't muzzle the ox that treads out the corn. And so we were eager to get into the position and to get to work for the people. And I was fortunate to have enough sensitive individuals with the right skill set to counter that traditional norm of not preparing for the pastor's departure. And so then that's when we began looking at different programs. And one of the programs that most of them used was, I can't even think of it, but it was going to cost the church about, the MISPER, something like that. Yeah. It was going to be 5 times more than what we ended up preparing through your company. And so, and the policy and plan that you presented to us far outweighed the benefits than what they were presenting as well. And so, we're just pushing forward. We got that taken care of. And, you and I have been working to even make adjustments on what I need to do for the future. Some of the things that we're looking at, even at the church in the coming years. Well, actually, next year, we'll be celebrating our 50th church anniversary. And for that anniversary, we want to make sure that we establish a $50,000 endowment for the church so that we can begin to prepare the next generation's financial net worth so that whenever they meet up with challenges and they're ready to grow and expand, they've got a balance sheet that they can go to, and they're not draining the general fund for different projects. They've got a nest egg, so to speak, that will begin to grow and accumulate enough wealth for them to do things with the interest so that our church can continue to meet the needs and the growing needs of God's people, because we've got a great number of unchurched individuals. Like you say, you didn't come to church until your girlfriend brought you. And we're getting individuals in their 30s and 40s, first time coming inside of a church. And so there's a lot of work that we have to do, and the church needs to be prepared and equipped to meet those needs. When Jesus taught the
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He gonna come back. He gonna come back. I think it was that was a little unstable in terms of the internet. So hopefully
Yeah.
Pastor will come back. Looks like he's coming back now.
He's coming back.
And
Oh, there he is.
oh,
there we go.
what did I leave off on?
Hey,
It's like I'm moving.
listen, Sheila said the devil mad. You talking about it. You talking
Right.
listen.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. So I don't know where I left off.
Well, you were just talking about the church being equipped to handle the needs
to meet the needs. Yeah, to meet the needs of the growing church. Yeah. And so that will help us get to that spot. Yeah.
We have to disrupt the culture and bring that culture back to Christ. And it really takes a great disruption to do that. And what you and your congregation has done, I mean, and others too. I mean, Pastor James Hines has been a staunch supporter. They worked with me. We worked with them, put things in place that they've just taken off, right? And so, and all this Ben Harbor connection, Pastor.
Pastor Hines.
What's going on? I mean, it's all this Ben Harbor stuff.
It might be good water over there. Maybe.
Might be some good water. Don't be fooled. Right?
Don't be fooled.
And so, and to see that, and that's still my passion today, is to work with. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so it's still my passion today. I mean, that's my heart's desire, to just travel the country and spread that financial gospel, and just telling people how to get out. Because the other thing, Pastor, I believe this. I believe many people, they in the pews, they want to tithe. They have a desire to tithe, but because they're up to their eyeballs in debt and all these other things, they think they can't. And so really, we want to do is equip them with financial freedom.
Yes.
So that they can do those things. And it's so funny. We're talking about all this, Ben Harbor. I was at the radio station the other day, and we were talking about Reverend Atkins' son.
Really?
You know, we're talking about Sinbad, right?
Sinbad, Reverend Atkins.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. There might be a statement, is that, can anything good come out of Ben Harbor? And we got a whole lot of coming out of Ben Harbor, right?
It's a lot of goodness that come out.
That's right.
So
don't be deceived.
Good things come from small packages.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So, well, I mean, I know we started a little late. We've gone a little long, but this has been a rich conversation. And Pastor, I just want to just give you a few minutes as we prepare to say goodbye to our audience tonight, and then those of you who happen to be listening to this on the podcast. What message do you want to give to our people tonight?
I would say that remember that family, the importance and value of family. And when we value family, then we value human life. And today's culture takes life for granted. We have young people that were told they may not reach their 18th birthday, 21st birthday, 30th, all of those things. Who's telling them that? Nobody but the enemy. And so if we reinstill those values of them being a man of God and a woman of God, then nobody can trim your future down to a narrative. Because as a child of God, as far as the East is from the West, all of this belongs to God. And so your potential is unlimited because we serve an unlimited and all powerful God. And when our people become predatory against one another, they don't really know God, because God doesn't have to unbless me in order to bless you. And that's what happens when you see the gang mentality, when you see these kids who are breaking in cars, carjacking, and all this kind of stuff. People trusting in the lotto and the numbers and all of this kind of stuff. 400 million people have to be unblessed in order for you to get that $400 million. But we serve a God who's more than enough, and he's placed gifts inside of each of us to be able to make a living and provide enough for our family. And he's not a God that's limited, because he will always allow our cup to run over when we are open to giving. And so we won't have to scramble around and wonder if I have enough to give to the Lord, because if I put him first, then he gets my first fruit. And the way he keeps on blessing me, I have to continue that process, because every time I turn around, he keeps blessing me because I'm giving. And you know the song, you can't beat them giving, right? And so we want that mentality to exceed past just the financial realm, but into our marriages, into our families and relationships with our children. The more we give to God, he brings it back to us in ways that, you're talking about your daughter now getting a master's. I know you taught her how to use other people's money to get that. See, but it came from you being willing to give to God first. And even your gift and skill set that you're sharing on this podcast with so many people, and alliance with Michelle, you guys, God is going to open up so many doors for you because you are willing to do this. Because you were a lifeline for me when you came and made that presentation. And your cousin Tommy Charleston, who's gone on to be with the Lord now, he said, "Yeah, that's my cousin, man. Yeah, we're gonna go with my cousin." And, but it's something that helped me, because I was in that financial crisis. I got my house when the we were facing that housing crisis, and that I had one of those predatory type of loans. But when God's hand is on you, no weapon form will prosper. I was able to get out of that loan, get it refinanced, and I'm still in this home today. And that I thought I'd never be able to get into, but the Lord showed me. But it was in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. And we got to get away from this individualistic kind of thing. We all need each other to survive. And so Dr. Charles Warfield taught us that we are as smart as the sum total of all of our intelligence together. So I don't have to know everything about money, long as you do. I can say, Tony, what's up with my money? And I can have confidence because of your integrity. I had a young man, my
You're breaking up on us again. Well, I don't know if Pastor Bell can hear us, Michelle, but if you turn on social media and you hear me preaching a sermon about God don't have to bless me to bless you,
right?
From.
Yeah,
that will preach. that right there,
right?
Okay, that right there will preach. Well, listen, Pastor Bell, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know we put this on the schedule a while ago to do this, and it came to be, and I'm so glad that we did. And let me just tell everyone too, is if you're much of a lot of the stuff we talk about is in the book. If you are interested, if you think that you're interested in having any type of financial workshop, like we've done in Texas, like we've done across the country. Just go to my website. You'll see a button there, therealmoneycoach.com. Schedule an appointment with me. Let's have a conversation about it. It all starts with a conversation. And, you know, we're determined that we're not going to be the tail, and we're meant to be the head, right? And so it's he who gives us the power to get wealth. We don't have to create it. It's already there. All we got to do is learn how to get it. And then once we get it, Pastor Bell, we got to keep it. Right?
That's right.
So listen, everyone, thank you for being here tonight. Michelle, thank you for what you do with businesses and business owners. Connect with Michelle for business owners. Connect with me, personal finance. And, you know, our heart is that we want to bless you. And so
Absolutely.
thank you all for being here. Vaughn put that because that's the title of the sermon I preached in Fort Worth.
Oh, already in the house.
Everything you need is already in the house.
That's right.
Yeah.
2 Kings 4, 1-7.
Yeah.
Everything you need.
Okay, so I'm gonna preach that one, Tony.
It's already in the house. All right, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next week. We're going to have a Black History Maker. She is Judge Alicia Chen Gary, and she is a probate judge here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. And she's going to talk to us about how the probate court works. So that's going to be our topic. She's going to be with us next week. Until then,
hey, Tony, we got a first Black female judge here in Kalamazoo as well.
Yes, we do.
Elisa Parker.
Elisa Parker. Yeah.
LaGrone. I'm sorry, she's married.
LaGrone. Yeah.
Get a brother his props. And Michelle, I need to get with you because my daughter needs to take that class on owners because she has her charcuterie board
it is
business,
tomorrow.
So.
Yes.
Okay.
Hang tight. I'll give you the link.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. God bless you.